Hello students, welcome to the class. Today we are going to read lesson 2 from the poetry section of class 10th English book. This is a poem named The Psalm of Life, which is composed by H.W. Longfellow. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow is the full name of the poet. He was a famous American poet. Longfellow made significant contribution to the American literary tradition. He was a teacher of modern languages at Harvard University. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow got admiration both at national and global level. Now come to the poem, The Psalm of Life by Longfellow was published in his first collection of poetry, namely Voices in the Night, in 1839. Here, psalm means a sacred song or poetical composition which is sung in praise or worship of God. The Psalm of Life, as the title suggests, means a song of life in which the poet has glorified life and its possibilities. He has presented life as a celebration. This poem carries a message of hope and encouragement. It encourages to the readers to follow the path of righteousness, which is an ideal way of living. And it also encourages the readers to live the life to the fullest without thinking of the past and future. Its main theme is to live in the present. This poem is didactic in tone and lyrical in nature. Before starting the poem, I would like to tell you about the context of the poem. In this poem, the poet slams pessimists who say not to worry about this life because our focus is on heaven and afterlife. But the poet speaker says that this idea is wrong. Now, let's start reading the poem. Students, enjoy the recitation and understand the meaning and thought of the poem. This is the first stanza of the poem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, is not spoken of the soul. Here, earnest means seriousness. Grave means death. Dust, which means sand or soil. Goal means aim. In this stanza, the poet does not accept that life is an empty dream. Instead, he says that life is real and true. Here, in the first line, we are seeing paralleling thoughts. Life is real, paralleling, life is earnest, which means life is real and full of seriousness. It is precious. We should not take it lightly. It is a precious gift of God to us. And the grave is not its goal, which means death is not the end of life. As we people think that death is the end of this life, but this is not true according to the poet. He says we should not take the death as the end or as the goal of life. Dust thou art, to dust returnest. This is the line which is taken from the Bible. It signifies the futility of human life. In this line, thou, which is an archaic and dialect form of you. And thou art, it is an old-fashioned biblical phrase which means you are. You are dust means our body is made of dust and it returns to dust. It mixes into the dust after death. It is short-lived and temporary, but is not spoken of the soul, which means if this line is not applicable to the soul because soul is immortal. It does not turn to dust. It does not turn to dust after death. It lives on as it is immortal. What is life and what is not its goal? Life is real and true. Death is not the goal of life. What is the main quality of the soul? The soul remains after the death and does not turn to dust as it is immortal. Next stanza, not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. Here, enjoyment means pleasure, material pleasure. Sorrow means grief or pain. Destined means future, which is decided by fate. End means aim. Act, which means work. Further, advance. Let's know the meaning of this stanza line by line. In the stanza, the poet has described about an ideal way of living. He says that in an ideal life, there should be a balance between enjoyment and sorrow. Is a destined end or way? It means we should not take enjoyment or sorrow as the aim or goal of life. It is not the goal of life, but we should not take it as our main purpose. But to act means our focus should be on working hard, working diligently, that each tomorrow find us farther than today, which means our focus should be on working hard, working diligently, so that with every coming day we find us farther, means advanced, better learned, better skilled human being than what we are at present. Means we should work like this that we may progress day by day. Yes, in this stanza, the poet emphasizes to do one's karma and to take all the eventualities in life as equal. What is meant by destined end? Yes, the poet says that happiness and sorrow are not decided by fate. So, our motive or aim of life should not be limited to those. How should we act in life? We should work hard or diligently so that with every coming day we find ourselves more advanced than what we are at present. In the world's broad field of battle. Next stanza, in the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb-driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Yes, very inspiring stanza, very inspiring lines. In this stanza, we are seeing that there is an image of battlefield. The poet has presented visual image of battlefield. He has compared this world to a broad field of battle. Yes, broad means vast, large. Bivouac, a temporary camp made by soldiers at the battlefield. Dumb means unable to speak, driven, controlled or operated by others. Strife means struggle. Yes. So, the poet has compared this world to a large field of battle. And we, human beings, are like the troops at that battlefield. And our life is like a bivouac, is like a temporary camp at that battlefield. We come in this battlefield to fight the battle of our lives. Be not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Yes, very motivating lines. We should not be like those animals who also participate in the battle, but their role is not very important. They are operated or controlled by others. They don't have any particular goal or direction. So, what should be our role? We should be a hero in the struggle of life. Like a hero, we have to fight bravely this battle and finally we have to win it. Yes. What has the world been compared to? The world has been compared to a large field of battle. How can we become a hero? We can become a hero by fighting bravely in the battle of life. Next and the last stanza of the poem. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate. Still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Fate, here fate means destiny. Achieving, which means to gain something by hard work. Pursuing, to follow. Labor, work hard. Yes. Let's know the meaning of this stanza. It is very inspiring lines. These are very inspiring lines. Let us, the poet now addresses the whole human being to start, to get up and give up idleness. Start working hard with a heart for any fate, without thinking of the consequences, without thinking of the result. We should be prepared for any fate. Our focus should not be on the result, should not be on the consequences. Still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait means we should follow towards the road to success. We should pursue our goals in life and we will have to learn to labor, to work and to wait patiently for the result. Yes. What does the poet mean by the words with a heart for any fate? The poet says that we don't have to think of the result. We should prepare ourselves for any fate. What should we learn? We should learn to work hard, to achieve our aim in life without thinking of the consequences or results. Yes, now this poem is complete. Next, we will see these appreciation questions to learn the qualities of the poem. What should be the aim of our life? The aim of our life should be to work hard for the betterment of our future. What does the poet think about life? The poet thinks that life is not an empty dream, as the people think. Instead, it is real and true, and it has definite aim. How can we make our lives wholesome, useful, and successful? We can make our lives wholesome, useful, and successful by not wasting our time and to make the most out of this short and transitory life. What is the poet's advice to man? The poet advises to man to face the challenges in life like a hero. Yeah. Now, I would like to pay your attention towards the poetic elements the poet has used to create this memorable and wonderful poem. We will learn about these poetic advices used in the poem and also have a quick view of the lines where they are used. The first element we have found in the poem is parallel thoughts, which means parallelism. We found in the first line of the first stanza, life is real, is paralleling life is earnest. And again in the last stanza, still achieving is paralleling, still pursuing. Personification, which means to give human qualities to the inanimate objects. Yes, the poet has used this device in this line, was not spoken of the soul, as if the soul is human and it cannot speak. Yes, imagery. Imagery is used to pay the reader's attention to use their five senses. In the words broad field of battle, in this line we have found the visual imagery. Yes. Repetition of vowel sounds. In this line, still achieving, still pursuing, we found repetition of vowel sounds of E. Yes. Repetition of consonant sounds. Not enjoyment and not sorrow. In this line, we have found that there is the repetition of consonant sounds na. Rhyme scheme. Yes, students, which is more important, rhyme scheme. We have noticed that there is the rhyme scheme presented in the poem is AB, AB, which means the last word of the first line is rhyming with the last word of the third line. Alternatively, last word of the second line rhymes with the last word of the fourth line. Yes. Next, we have traced some figure of speech. Metaphor. Metaphor. In the words broad field of battle, the poet has compared this word to a battlefield. So, there is metaphor figure of speech. In the bivouac of life, the life is compared to a temporary camp, to a bivouac. So, there is metaphor figure of speech. And there is simile, be not like dumb driven cattle. Be not like is used. Yes, human beings are compared to dumb driven cattle. So, and the word like is used. There will be simile figure of speech. Next, these are the key words of the poem, which will help us to recall the thought of the poem. Let's see one by one. Earnest. Earnest. Life is real, life is earnest. Means life is full of seriousness. Yes. Next, grave. And the grave is not its goal. Grave means death. The poet says that death is not the goal of life. Destined. Destined means decided by fate. Enjoyment on sorrow are not decided by fate. We should not take these as decided by fate. Battle, which means in the world's broad field of battle, the world has been compared to a battlefield. Cattle, be not like dumb driven cattle. The poet has told the young man, not be like the dumb and driven cattle. Soul is not spoken of the soul, means soul is immortal and It does not turn to dust. It remains on after the death. Farther, find us farther than today means we should progress day by day. Strive. Be a hero in the strife means we should be like a hero, fight the battle of our life, and finally we have to win it. Dust. Dust thou art, dust to returnest means our body is made of dust and after death it turns to dust. Be work, which means in the be work of life. Life is compared to a temporary camp made by soldiers at the battlefield. Fate. Fate, which is compared, means we should not think illusion. This is the line which is taken from the Bible. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. This is an illusion. Next, these are the keywords which are taken from the poem. It will help you to recall the poem. Earnest. First keyword is earnest. Life is real, life is earnest. Means life is true and full of seriousness. Grave. And the grave is not its goal. Means death is not the goal of life. Death should not be the goal or aim of life. Soul is not spoken of the soul. Means soul is immortal and it does not turn to dust like our body. Destined. Is our destined end or way? Means enjoyment and sorrow are not decided by fate. Battle. In the world's broad field of battle, the world has been compared to a broad field of battle. Cattle. Be not like dumb driven cattle. The poet has told speakers not to be like cattle who don't have particular goal or direction. They also participate in the war, but they are operated and controlled by others. Bework. In the bework of life, life is like a temporary camp at the battlefield. Further, advance. We should advance, we should progress day by day in our life. Strive. Be a hero in the strife. Like a hero, we should fight the battle of our life and finally win it. Dust. Dust thou art, to dust returnest. Means our body is made of dust and after death it will mix into the soul. Fate. With a heart for any fate means we should prepare for any fate, for any result. We should prepare ourselves for any result. Labor. Learn to labor and to wait means we should work, we should learn to work and to wait patiently for the result. Let's sum up. Life is true and real. Live in the present. Soul is immortal and death is not the end of life. Life is to do one's karma. Don't waste your time and make the most out of this short and transitory life. Be a hero in this battle of life. Work hard to achieve our aim in life without thinking of the result. This is the summary of the poem. Recapitulation work. Yes, students, this is the recapitulation work. Complete the lines. Life is real, life is. What will come here? Earnest. Life is earnest. And in the next line, and the dash dash is not its goal. What will come here? And the grave is not its goal. Third line is not spoken of the soul. Yes. Next line, in the world's broad. Yes, world has been compared to which? The broad fields of battle. Next sentence, in the dash dash of life. What will come here? Life is like a Be work, yes, in the be work of life. Next line, be a hero in the strife. Next line, let us then be up and doing. Next line, with a heart for any fate. Still, dash dash, still pursuing. What will come here? Still achieving, still pursuing. And last line, learn to, what should we learn? Learn to labor and to wait. Yes, students. Now, we will recite this poem once again. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, is not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Let us then be up and doing with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. Yes, students. Now, I will tell you about the rhyming words. In the first stanza, earnest rhymes with returnest. In the next stanza, way rhymes with today. In the next stanza, battle rhymes with cattle. Yes, students, like this, you will find out more rhyming words presented in the poem. Now, here is the homework for you to do at home. Learn 4 lines of the poem, The Psalm of Life. Any 4 lines which you like most, you will learn. Select any 4 pairs of the rhyming words from the poem and then add 1 word to each pair of them having the same sound. And make a table for this. Means I have told you about the rhyme scheme. So, you will find out the rhyming words from the poem and add 1 word to each pair of them having the same sound and make a table for this. Now, students, this is the poem, The Psalm of Life. I hope you enjoyed this poem. Thank you.